Yeah, this time we are dealing with the fourth element on the periodic table, beryllium. Happy New Year to all of you guys, wherever you are. Happy New Year. Today we are dealing with beryllium, which is the fourth element on the periodic table. Basically, I've been posting some pictures here and there to let you know how to motivate yourself. Is what I'm saying. It is not always going to be a motivative speech. Some little things that you see motivate you in life. Now, like I already said yesterday and the day before, that the elements are not just there, just go to school, memorize, because you know how to do the calculations here and there. Have to know where they are, how to use them. You know, in Ghana, there are some people producing cooking pots. They will come to your house and they will buy your cooking pot. They take it back. Now, the cooking pot that they already sold it to you, they sold the cooking pot to you. You use it in your house for about 4 or 5 years. They come back to you after it is completely destroyed. Then they come back to you and they buy the cooking pot. Back. Probably they sold it to you about, say, 20,000 Ghana cedis, 20,000 old Ghana cedis, and then they came back to you and you sold it to them about 10 pesos. You know, I didn't know what time I'm use. They came back. What you saw, you know, was about the top. Asan kwakoye ne fresh e abrew. Asan be to am aboden. So previously ne oton amount 20,000. And I will use 5 years. Or to turn a day, was about how beto. Or they call in a workshop. Waka melt asan dia moldu another dancing. Asan dia brew. What they brew no. Previously or tom 20,000. But now a name quenny to a tom 50,000. What you see, somebody is. How do you have to Yeah. Now, let us do beryllium is the fourth element. We do first the elements, and then after that we will start combining them. At some point, I'll be doing 3 of this a day or 2 teachings a day, depending on how much time that I have on my schedule. I'm trying to get through all the elements quick, so that you will be able to start combining them. Right, beryllium is the fourth element. Now, let us go. This, I'm just taking you straight up. The characteristics of beryllium are, it's like it's steel, meaning it's very somehow rigid. It's very hard or tough. It looks it's gray. It looks more like gray, and it's a metallic, soft, flexible. It is not that soft, but because steel is not that soft. Steel is not soft. So it is metallic, somehow softer than steel, but it's more flexible. To be flexible does not mean that you are soft. It means that you are adjustable. This is how beryllium is. It's very, very, very soft. It is softly flexible. Now, because of the softness, ushe utu ni mwa spring bi ewu. Mamenyi meyi bi wa hanche wade. Mamen fa battery, we dey man fa battery ni bi nche wade. Ushe battery, eda ushe spring yewa here. About 90% of this is beryllium. This contact here no, a beryllium. It's a spring. Because it's flexible, you can mold it as in a form of a spring, and you put your battery, and it's a battery contact. This is beryllium right here. It's the fourth element on your periodic table. And this is a battery. Your battery contacts. We nyinaa yɛ beryllium and yɛde yɛ saa nneɛma yi. Nti wopɛ sɛ wo extract beryllium for use and then the easiest way is battery our use no. Every day you recite all the elements on the periodic table no. I'm taking you to another level, and then after that we will start combining them. That is where you will like it. Now, etio spring so the spring in your etio uses beryllium because it has a high melting point. The properties is it has a high melting point. We will get there. So it is used to make relay switches. I'm gonna show you some of the relay switches as we are in the deep electrical projects. Yeah, we're gonna show you relay switches. So if you really want to invent anything to bring out new ideas, you have to know all the elements, at least know 30 of them or 40 or 50. You can always invent something to help the society. Is what I'm saying. Now, sources of beryllium is found in the soil. You can get it from bauxite. In fact, when you get your bauxite, the most prevalent element in bauxite is aluminum. But the most prevalent element in the bauxite is aluminum. But then you get some other components also in it, part of the soil that you are getting, the red soil bauxite. You can get beryllium from the soil. And it's more found you get it more in rocks, in the volcanic eruption or volcanicity rocks. You see what I'm saying? A boy where who you gray. Mamma where be a mobile one. If you're born a putumus a bony gray. Is full of the fourth element on the periodic table, beryllium, that we are talking about. And you get it from coal. You see, you have coal tar for making your roads in Ghana. Coal tar is also coming from the coal. But you get beryllium also from the coal. Extraction of beryllium can also be, from the coal. Now, or the sea deposit. All the elements working with the sea. Like I was telling you some other time that the sea distributes all resources back to their original place. Wherever the sea puts the resources is where they belong. Whenever there is rain and you see the gutters are full of the sandy soil here and there, they are building up gradually to form all these components. That is why we have layers of the soil. Those of you who have done agric science and we have done geomorphology, the layers of the soil. So the sea will deposit them in the form of layers. It laid them down. That is why you get layers. You are laying on your bed. You laid the blocks or the bricks to build your house as a mason. Now, so properties, it has a high melting point. A high melting point means that it is very difficult for this metal to melt, even though it's flexible, but it is not easy to melt. That is why you can use it in a spring of your etio, because etio no fire ejano anodin, but the spring is very strong and it will not melt. Your relay switch holds a lot of load in your electrical circuit because of the high melting point of the beryllium component in the relay switch. It is able to withstand because electricity is fire. It is able to withstand. The relay switch is an automated or automatic switch controlled by electric load or power inside your circuit. It's a good conductor. Okay, high melting point means that you are able to use them in your Mama moko dental appointment ya mama dibi de shamoseno. Beryllium is the dominant part of it. It be aluminum. You see aluminum there. But aluminum no crown because it's more soft. We will talk about aluminum. It's the 13th element on the periodic table and it's the most common element. The most common metallic element in our system is aluminum. Everywhere and alumi, we will talk about that. That beryllium is used in telecommunications. Wohwe wo chip no so a contact bi wo so a wo de chip no hyemu na a contact o contact bi a wo phone mu na wo de chip no hyemu na a contact wo chip no. It is the dominant element is beryllium. Used in the production of bicycle and is used in the production of gears. And so bicycle no wo de wo nan air pele bicycle no a. On so ade bi na chain no chekere ho no a twan beryllium. What you say? Adebia, it's also in the form of a gear. It is also in the form of a gear. Because a gear, your bicycle, on say gear, and a run or bicycle, no. I will explain more about gears. What you say? Yeah, o bicycle, na adie na chain, one hour nine or pele na aircron a gear. Because of its flexibility, it is also used in welding. It's either you are using it to hold the flame, or you can also use it to join two metals, which of course we'll talk about that. Your dadie bi oho a melt na odi are joining we say together. That is you are using it. Why am I always talking about welding? Because welding is one of the most important part of our lives today. Because welders welder car aeroplane be with bicycle. Welding is everywhere. Welding your gates in the house. Welding is part of us. Now, your battery contacts, and I meant some your battery. Your battery contact are full of the beryllium element. Battery contacts. Electrical contacts, is the same as the battery contacts that we are talking about. Electrical contacts in any device is full of the beryllium right here. And copper wires. Copper wires, because it is a good conductor. One of the properties of beryllium is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Electricity is going with heat. Every electrical device is producing heat. It's doing forms of energy or the transfer of energy in the form of conduction. You during your phases, you got to know that you have conduction, convection, and radiation as the modes of transfer of heat. Now, it's a good conductor. It's a thermal conductor or electrical conductor. You are able to use it in the manufacture of your heaters. Mo heater mo use the heating is full of beryllium. We heater we use is full of beryllium because it has a high melting point. It's not easy to melt. It's able to hold some amount of power or fire. And indeed, the heater is full of beryllium. Aluminium and carbon necessary. Now it is, and then it because it's a good conductor. We know copper is the best conductor of electricity. Copper wires. Everybody is talking about copper wires in the electrical world. It's full of beryllium elements. Now it is very strong. Its strength is very, very great. Because of that, you use it in the manufacturing of your cars. You move high speed. You're using it in the manufacturing of rockets. You're using it in the manufacturing of the atomic bombs. You're using it in the manufacture of alloy. We'll talk more about alloy. How do you get alloys? A mixture of two metals or whatever. Alloy components. So the alloy, any alloy that involves beryllium element is used in the production of firewalls. In the airplane, we have something called the firewall. The firewall is where the great tension is in the aircraft. It holds a lot of pressure. It holds a lot of pressure in your aircraft. In the single engine aircraft, it is where you have your propeller before your propeller, and it separates the engine from the flight panel, or your engine gauges, or whatever, or your cockpit. Heating through a keep heating over, because it has a high melting point and is a good conductor. At the same time, because of the strength, it is able to hold high level of temperature, and it is used for firewalls. Of course, we will talk about titanium and all of that, but before I want you to take it day by day and level by level. Then you begin to invent. It's not something difficult. But then a lot of people, see how people come into Africa and they observe our life. We are inventing a lot of things there in Africa, but they come to us very humble, as if they are teaching or they are doing something, and then they will get the idea from us. They will produce it in a large scale, and they forget about us. That is what the world is. Let me show you something. Previously, January, we were talking about how after Kobe Bryant case in the Bible, every case comes because we want to solve some problems in the society. It's been well known that helicopters don't fly that fast, and they are not that safe because of some reasons that are, the wind does not have. Any aircraft should be fully controlled by the wind. We control by the wind, but a helicopter does not have the full control of the wind because of the collective and the cyclic pitch of the aircraft, of the helicopter. That is why most people are afraid to be in a helicopter, even though it can hover and it can stay in one place for some time. But it is also the most difficult to fly. Then we are coming out with ideas. So you will meet in January 11th. Coming out with ideas about how are we gonna build something fast, safe, that can also hover and stay in one place. In the helicopter, we are facing helicopters out of the system. But this is what let me show you something. We are taking helicopters out of the system. Then we came out with this project. This project is whereby you will fly the helicopter with 2 jet engines. Previously, we have used turbo supercharge, or whatever. We have turbine aircraft, but not fully turbine. It's supercharged. We charge it with the turbo charger. But now we're gonna fly helicopters very fast and safe using this method. We have 2 engines. Now, as I was trying it, mensakura na ayayi. What you say? Mensa you try, because it was not a German semako. This is how sometimes I try to motivate the boys. This is how your helicopter, the new face of your helicopter is gonna be like this. This is what it's gonna be like. The new face of your helicopter is coming out to be like this. Fine a boss rock kakrakani, baby ye free. Fine be a boy helicopter no so kakrakano. It is not safe. Yeah, baby ye free. It's gonna use 2 jet engines. It's gonna fly with 2 jet engines. One facing down, one facing vertical. And the remaining is the balance between load, your electrical equipment, batteries, and passengers. Now, we engine away a helicopter no suspended with na engine a hosa na echo. Depending on how much power you put in for this engine, helicopter no best insane. When it is time to move forward, you power this up. This one will move the aircraft forward. Then you're gonna need only 2 control surfaces. But in a rare picture, you're gonna turn the same control surfaces. In terms of need, in an emergency engine out, if this engine is outward, then you're gonna use it as elevators. This is the idea that came out. But it was very difficult to be executed. me try no fear. It works really good. But as I was catching it, you know, mensa. What you say? Once I mensa trap, me already. Yeah. Let us be very creative. You have the world at your feet. Once you are creativity is working, you are creative enough and you have the world at your feet. That is what I'm talking about. So today we talk about the fourth element on the periodic table. If I have time today, we will talk about another one or possibly two of them, so that I can get through pretty quick, and we get all the components and we will start combining them. I have most of the chemicals here. I have most of the chemicals there. We will start combining. Most of them can be easily extracted from chemicals. Or have the flame here that I can easily isolate. And then we will do testing. yeah. That is it. This one, Bruni because Bruni been invented you. But we were in a meeting. Then I came and I'm so, why not flying this with 2 jet engines? They were like, it's not possible. Maminchira wade. Almost possible.